Modern Mahjong's here for Thursday's Daily Talk of the Tiles. Today's May 15th, 2025. Today we're starting a series of National Mahjong League rules versus house rules. The full playlist of all of our previous daily talks could be found on our YouTube channel, Modern Mahjong. For the house rule topics for the next several days, we're going to be reviewing and comparing National Mahjong League and house rules. Today's daily talk, we're going to be discussing official 13 tile compared to 14 tile or futures, which are house rules. And we're going to be discussing how the dice wall is treated versus hot wall and cold wall, which are house rules. We believe it's very important for players to learn official rules when they're learning to play by National Mahjong League rules. Then they can recognize house rules. We created this video to review the rules and compare them to house rules and help everyone play with confidence. By knowing the rules, you can play anywhere and recognize and add house rules when your group wants. Don't get us wrong, house rules can add a fun twist, but we just believe that it's really important to get that base of understanding official rules before you add them in. We do presentation, strategy sessions, classes, both in person and online, events, and more. Contact us at modernmahjong@gmail.com to schedule. Let's start with the official rules. East starts with 14 tiles. The other 3 players have 13. These are the official rules. Everybody takes their own tiles, with East rolling the dice to break the wall. It is not dealt. Everybody takes their own, of course, unless there's a reason that somebody can't. Once East has their 14 and everybody else has 13, then the players could put them on their rack. And East starts the game by discarding their 14th tile. So now everyone has 13. And then player ends in R, so play goes to the right. And the next player picks their tile, their 14th, and then discards either that tile or another. And play continues to the right. There are some house rules, and people might call it 14 tile or futures. Both of these, every player has 14 tiles. In 14 tile rules, they have 14 in their rack, where 13 tiles for future with 1 future tile on the top where the exposures usually go, but face up facing them. For 14 and futures, players usually discard first and then pick rather than pick and throw, which is the official rules. Since 14 or futures are house rules, there's various differences in how they're enforced. Sometimes when a player picks their 14th tile, which gives them Mahjong, some groups let them stop the game right then and there and say Mahjong, while others make it come back to them to declare the win. Players that enjoy 14 often say that it's faster and it feels that it goes along quicker, while others feel that it changes the underlying strategy of the game. Since it's a house rule, if you call the National Mahjong League, they will not answer any questions once you mention you play with 14 tiles or futures. Official rules for the tiles that are left over after East rolls the dice, we call them the dice wall. And officially, they are treated like any other tiles in any other wall. The National Mahjong League actually recommends defensive play up to the very last discard. The league also mentions, when they discuss defensive play, dogging the tiles, which they define as when a player will break up their own hand to discard a safe tile rather than discarding a tile they know another player might need to win. The dice wall, the tiles remaining after East rolls the dice, are treated the exact same way as any other wall. Whether you're playing a concealed hand or an exposed hand, you can call or pick that 14th winning tile up to the very last pick. You're paid double if somebody discarded your winning tile, or everyone pays you double if you self-picked it. You picked it from the wall yourself or did a joker exchange for the win. House rules might treat the dice wall differently than other walls. You might hear terms of hot wall or cold wall. And like we just said, the National Mahjong League does not recognize either one of these, but we're going to define them and we're going to explain how this impacts play. Some players might not even realize that they're playing with what's called a hot wall or a cold wall and think that it's part of the rules. If you're playing with the house rule of a hot wall, under NMJL rules, payment's the same for anybody that discards the winning tile. They pay double and everybody else pays single, unless it's jokerless, and unless it's not in singles and pairs, jokerless hands get paid double as well. In home games using a hot wall, if a player throws the winning tile, they pay for the table 4 times the value of the hand. So That's a hot wall. They pay for the entire table, which would be 2 times paying for themselves, plus 1 time paying for the other 2 players. So hot wall play penalizes a player for not playing defensively. Specifics on this vary by table rules. Sometimes if players are playing with a limit on how much they could lose each day, which is known as either PY, PI, or PIE for pi, sometimes if you're playing with a hot wall and pi, players say that if you play and you're not defensive and during the last wall you throw the winning tile, that money is not considered a part of your loss, and that comes out of a separate purse, a separate pocketbook, a separate wallet. Players with a hot wall might also have a similar rule throughout the game that if somebody throws a winning tile that's obviously hot, like needed by other players, a hot tile, or if they throw to 3 exposures so it's clear what tiles they would need, that they also pay for the table, even if you haven't reached that hot wall yet. So you might hear this as being described as throwing to 3 exposures. Now, if you play with a house rule of a cold wall, this is very different. When playing with a cold wall, when you reach that part, any discard is safe. So you're almost at that cold wall, you pick a flower, you know someone needs a flower for Mahjong, you hold on to it. And then once you reach the cold wall, you discard it, and no one can call a tile for Mahjong during that cold wall if this is your house rule. The win must be self-picked. So players that enjoy this house rule feel that it speeds up the play at the end of the game, since everybody isn't looking to see, oh, is this tile already out? How many tiles have this been thrown? Cold wall really changes strategy of play, since hot tiles can be saved and discarded during the cold wall. Today's hand of the day, we're going to revisit any like numbers, number 2. You have 4 flowers, a Kong of flowers, a pair of one number, and then separately at the end, you have another pair of that same number and 2 pungs. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 tiles, just counting our math, 14 tiles there. But you have to make sure that you realize that those 2 ones or whatever number you do for this whole hand are separated because they are pairs. They are not a Kong. So you can't use a joker. You have to plan ahead, and you might want to delay until you're ready to call the winning tile. The reason we're featuring this again is because of an email we received, and we'll discuss that next. The question in the email was, a player is disputing that she thought she won. She had already exposed a Kong of ones, but then wanted to declare Mahjong because she could break that Kong up into 2 pairs. The answer to that is no. Once you make an exposure, you lock that exposure upon either doing a joker exchange or discarding a tile. Once you do either of those things, a joker exchange or discard, your turn for that exposure is now over and it is locked. It cannot be changed. So that Kong that they exposed is forever and always a Kong. Our May 19th Zoom is around the corner. We hope that you'll register soon. You could learn the card, prepare to pivot. We're going over overlapping tiles. Players who came to this same class on 3 other times really have loved it. We've got great feedback, so we hope you could join us. June 23rd, 25th, 30th, and then July 2nd, we are doing a Learn to Play series. So feel free to share this with friends and family that are looking to learn so you could have more players at your game. If you can't make every single class during this time, we are going to record the classes and send them out privately to watch. This is only for the Learn to Play series. Our Learn the Card one-time only Prepare to Pivot class is live only. There will not be a replay. Our PDF, which is 95 pages long, print what you want, save it to your tablet, your computer, your phone, is available on modernmahjong.com. It's great if you're coming to our May 19th class to have this already and print out some of the pages so you can mark it up as you go along. It is available on modernmahjong.com/products/2025 PDF. Our Canasta convention is taking place October 11th and 12th. If you have any questions or for more details, visit bit.ly/CanastaCon25. And speaking of New York, stay tuned. We are headed to New York City in June. Details coming soon. We hope that you enjoy this, and if you have any ideas for our daily talk of the tiles, comment below or send us an email. Thank you so much for listening to this longer than usual video. We invite you to like, comment, save, and share. If you aren't following us yet, you're missing out on all this great stuff. We don't gatekeep. We love sharing the information so all of us could play with confidence. With that, we hope you have a great day and a great game.